everybody. Welcome to another episode of Caching with Cadgerman. I have returned once again to the Colorado Trail today. You might recall in a previous episode I was at the same spot, but this time I'm going a different direction. It turns out there's a bunch of new caches that I'm going to look for today. I think there are 7 new caches over the course of about 4 or 5 miles down the trail or the side road here called Raleigh Peak Road. That's where I'm going today. So come along for the ride. So this is the beginning of Raleigh Peak Road here. It's a closed road that heads up the hill right here. That's where I'm going to go next. But first, there's a geocache right here. Wonder where it will be. Down the hole? No. This is a micro. There it is. One of those little teeny tinies. Still pretty smoky in the mountains. There's still some bad fires going on in Colorado here on Labor Day 2020. And this area actually was burned by a fire more than 20 years ago. 1996, I think it was. I've arrived at another cache location. Can confirm that this area is closed to motor vehicles. You can kind of read this sign. The sign is also home to a geocache. Hope I don't drop it in the hole. There's the cache. Oh, it looks like another one of these. Let's go see. Could be the log. Down the hole? No. Oops. It's another little nano. Heading that way next. Well, I didn't find the geocache here. I found it once before. It was somewhere by this strange structure that nobody knows what it is. There used to be a campground here years ago before their Buffalo Creek fire, which was in 1996, I think. And perhaps this was a water thing. Maybe. There's a benchmark on top, though. Another interesting thing that's up here is this device, which I'm going to take a look at. Looks like a camera. I wonder if it's for watching for fires up here. Could be. This off in the distance here is Raleigh Peak, which I've been to the top of. There's a geocache up there. It's a tough climb to get up there. You can barely see it here in the smoke. Have more caches to find off in that direction. Just have to get back down to that road. Well, the sign wasn't kidding about logging operations. That's a big pile of chopped down trees. And here's another. And there's another one in the distance. So I came from up there. I've come to where Raleigh Peak Road intersects with the Colorado Trail. Going that way. And up here, this is the way we're going to go, I think. Those cool rock formations back there. It's called Chair Rocks. Get a better view of it in a little bit. And there's a cache up in there. And then maybe a couple of others as well. But there's also one right here. Looks like another one of these signs. But here's the sign on the back of it. And there's the cache. 63 feet. Another nice rock formation. 24 feet. This is a small. Hey, looky there. There it is, right back in there. Well, this next cache requires a hike off trail of about 2/10 of a mile. So far it's pretty easy looking, but we'll see. There actually might have been a trail here at one time. It's kind of faint. I'd like to give credit to Geodog74 who hit all these caches I found today, including this one, which is the farthest one down the trail and off the trail. I've already spotted it. Let me show you where it is. Cache is right in here. Yeah, there it is. So I parked my bike and hiked the quarter mile or so out to this cache. It's only 2/10 of a mile from where I parked, but I went down the wrong ridge first, so I had to backtrack in order to get to where this cache is. Definitely worth the hike out here and bike ride. There's the log. Ah, snake! 2 off balls. A couple of nifty Hot Wheels. That one and this one. Alright, let's get the log out. See how many people have been here. I'm guessing maybe 2. Let's see if I'm right. Looks like 3. 3 cachers have been out here. This one's pretty new. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks old. But since it takes quite a bit of an effort to get out here, it doesn't get found that often. But definitely worth the effort. Let's put it back together, put it back in its hiding spot, and we'll go find the one last cache called Chairs of the Gods. It's not very often I go back to a cache that I found once before. In this case, it must have been about 10 years ago I found this cache. It's called Chairs of the Gods. The location here, this formation, is called Chair Rocks. Some people call it Chairs of the Gods, like the owner of this cache. I found it before. It's pretty tricky to get to. I'm going to give it a shot. Whether I get my hands on it or not, I don't know, but let's see if we can find it once again. Well, I made it up here. I remember this spot very well, as it was kind of dangerous and tricky to get to the spot where the cache is. I remember being up here and spotting it from a distance. I'm pretty sure it was right in there. I don't see it from here today, but I remember getting up on that rock, hoping I wasn't going to fall down there. Or even worse, down there. This is a great location for a cache. I'm sure it's here somewhere because a couple of people have found it recently. Here's another look. I'm looking almost straight down here. The cache was up in there. I wonder if I can get around to the other side. I'm going to try. Well, getting around to the other side doesn't appear to be an option, and I wasn't willing to climb up on the rock that I was remembering that I climbed up on 10 years ago. I'm not as agile as I used to be, so I'm going to skip it. But like I said, I've logged this one before, so I'm not going to mark it as a TNF. I think it's still there, given that it was found very recently. So the next part of my trip is going to head back, not on the Raleigh Peak Road this time, but back on the parallel Colorado Trail. There are 2 more caches to find on the way, but they're past where I parked the car just a little bit. So stay tuned to see if I find these last 2 caches. Buffalo Burn Trail. This cache, I believe, is in one of these logs or next to it. Nice little tree. Oh, I see it. Little bison tube. Very nice. So the last cache of the day is not in this uprooted stump. I've actually looked for this cache twice, including about 10 minutes ago before the previous cache. I looked and looked and looked and looked and did not spot it. So I thought, well, I'll give it one more shot on the way back to the car. And I spotted it, wouldn't you know, right away. And it has nothing to do with that bone in the tree, but it is very close to it. Right here. One of these little guys. Well, I had in mind finding one more cache on the way home along the river here. This is the South Platte River, the South Fork of the South Platte River. However, the parking spot where the cache was full of a couple of cars and I couldn't get in there, so I had to skip that one. So thanks for joining me on this adventure of caching with Cadgerman. I look forward to another adventure sometime soon, and until then, you can subscribe to my channel, take a look at some of my other videos and other episodes, and we'll see you somewhere else down the trail. So take care, everybody. So long. Bye.